Hi, and welcome back to Tuesday's Tips in Online Marketing. I'm Lee Evans of Key Relevance and Search Marketing Gurus, and I'm back with the second part of our social media metrics series for today. And what we're going to take a look at is 3 different types of tips again that you can look at to help measure the success of your social media strategy. And I'm also going to do some screenshots to put in with these tips so you can kind of get a handle on what exactly I'm talking about with these social media metrics tips. So let's take a look at the first one. The first tip is ratings, favorites, and comments. And what I'm talking about with this is if you have any kind of effort going on in any kind of social media networking site, whether it's videos, it's Flickr, it's Yelp, anywhere that somebody can favorite something, they can comment on something, or they can put you as a friend, these things are all measurable. So if you want to put some kind of effort out there in these types of communities, you can measure your success by the interaction that you have with these people. So let's take a look at some of these places that we can look at to measure those ratings and successes.
And for tip number 1, as I was discussing before about looking at ratings, views, and comments on your social media projects out there that you're putting, your social media efforts that you're putting out there, you can look at your ratings. Ratings happen on profiles, they happen on pictures, they happen on video, and you can see here this one's got 14. You can look at views, and views happen on videos, they happen on profile views, they happen on photos as well. So those you can use to gauge. People favorite things, you can use that as another metric to measure. And then you also have text comments. How actively engaged are people on your social media efforts? As well as on video shares, you have video responses. Are people putting video responses, engaging with your social media efforts out there? If you use these to use as a metric, you can gauge whether or not your social media effort is successful or whether you need to tweak it to make it successful.
And so we're back with tip number 2. With tip number 2, I'm talking specifically to social bookmarking sites and Twitter. And what I mean by tip number 2 with saves and retweets is you can actually count those and see if you're getting some kind of benefit from them with your social media strategy. So you can basically go out and you can count how many times one of your tweets has been retweeted out to your audience or beyond. There are programs that do actually count the RTs with Twitter. When someone retweets, they do an RT. They count that. And then also you can see if they're retweeting your bookmarks as well, if you put them out to your Twitter account. And then also with that, you can count how many times people are saving your bookmarks. How many times are they saving it to Delicious, to Furl, to Faves, to Digo? Those things all count as measurable ways to measure your social media strategy. So let's take a look at just a little bit of that in Twitter and in the social bookmarking places.
So with tip number 2, when I was discussing about looking at your saves and your retweets and seeing how those are being populated out into the social media space and measuring that, this is what I was talking about. Looking at Delicious in particularly, you can see how many times a particular article has been saved if you yourself have saved it. So you could see here 6 people have actually saved this in Delicious on here. So you can use that as a measurement gauge as well to check some of your metrics in social media. And then we have a thing for retweeting that you can check. It's called Retweetist. It's a site, RETWEETIST.com, and it will show you the things that are being retweeted. What's hot? What were the most recent URLs that were tweeted, and it will also show you the most retweeted users as well. So you can actually maybe even make friends with these people, and they might look at what you're tweeting out, and it could be possible that they actually tweet out what you have. So these are some great tools that you can use to help you measure your tweets and your saves in the social media space and how well they're doing.
And back we are for tip number 3, and that's our final tip for today. It's using the Grease Monkey social media script. Now this is specific only to Firefox and if you have Google Analytics installed in your site. But it's a really handy tool that can help you gauge how well your content is actually doing in social media. So if you have a blog, or if you put a video on a web page, or you put pictures on a page and you want to measure how many times people are digging this, or they are putting it out on Mix, or they're saving it. You can see this with this Grease Monkey script. So let's take a look at what it looks like in Google Analytics.
So with tip number 3, what I wanted to really point out was you can use this social media Grease Monkey plugin, and it's just for Firefox and Google Analytics. So if you're not using Google Analytics and you're not using Firefox, you're not going to be able to use this particular plugin. But it's really great for people to be able to measure what's going on with their social media efforts and how well they're doing in different social media sites. As you can see here, we've got Dig, Mix, Reddit, Stuff Delicious, and Yahoo in links, with more to come as well. So, and here's what it looks like over in Google Analytics when you have this plugin in your Firefox. So you'll see your normal Google Analytics information, which is all here, your page views and your spikes and your traffic coming in. But then it adds in this piece here, down here, Delicious, StumbleUpon, Mix. It shows you how many different actions are happening within these different social media sites. So this is a really great tool to help you measure your efforts in social media.
So those are your 3 tips for today's tips in social media metrics for Tuesday's tips in online marketing. I'm Lee Evans of Search Marketing Gurus and Key Relevance. I'll be back next week with some more Tuesday's tips in online marketing. As always, you can find a transcript of this video at searchmarketinggurus.com. We'll see you next time.